how to get help from the command line. So that's the question that we will try to answer in this video. In Linux, most packages or most tools come with some documentation, and that documentation is called the manual page. And the man command is that tool that helps to read the manual page related to a specific command on which we wanted to get some help on. Right, so the man command itself, we can use the man command to get some information about the manual pages themselves by typing man. Right, we want to get the manual of the man pages, and then when we type enter, then we get the manual page of the man command itself. So basically how it's organized, there is always the header that's defined the command with a short description of what the command is about. And on the top left, you can see that there is always the name or the command in parentheses with a number. And that number is just the section number. And the sections are listed right here. So the name, and we have the synopsis. The synopsis gives a quick overview about the main options or the main usage of a specific command, followed by the description, right? And for the in the man pages, we can notice that they are like here. It's listed 9 different sections, and the manual pages are organized in a way that in the first section. The first section refers to commands that are executable programs or shell commands, right? And the second section are about system calls. The third section about library calls. So the section 2 and the section 3 are like related to system programming. So when you're doing Linux system programming, then session 2 and 3 will be highly helpful to get some documentation about the different APIs that are offered. Right, session 4 supports provide information about special files, like the files that are found in the /dev directory. And the section 5 is related to file formats and conventions. Session 7 about games, although I have not consulted documentation in the section 6 that often. And the session 7 is about miscellaneous as like general documentation, right? And 8 about system administration commands, mostly commands that can be used useful for the root user for system administration purposes. And the section 9 about kernel routines, which is not necessarily present on all in all version or distributions, but at least the first 8 one are like pretty standard and should always be present, right? So the section is always given, if the section from which a command is always given in parentheses, also beside the title on the top left corner and also on top the right corner actually. So in this documentation of the man page itself, it's always described like the convention of how the man pages are written. So it's so that every test that is bold test in the manual should be typed as it is. So basically this man-k, if we want to use this, it should be typed exactly as it's written here. So that's basically the convention. And every test that is in italic or underlined this way should be replaced with the appropriate argument. So it's like a placeholder, intended to show that there is something that should go at this specific position. For instance, like it's done here. And in brackets, any or all arguments within brackets are optional, right? And when two arguments, between two arguments, there is the pipe character, it means that it's either one or the other, but both cannot be used at the same time. And arguments like the 3 dots means that the argument here can be repeated multiple times, right? So basically here, when we look at this line, for instance, we have one option which are underlined, and it means that, also in brackets means first that this is optional, right? Basically this section is also optional. And options underlined means that there is some options that could come here, right? This is just a placeholder to indicate that something can come at this position. And here, for instance, we have page followed by 3 dots, and 3 dot means that the page can be repeated multiple times. And the 3 dot here means that this entire block that is optional can also be repeated multiple times. So 3 dots means that what is previously listed can be repeated on the command line. So these are the basic, I would say, conventions that are used in general in the synopsis section of the man page, and this applies to more or less all tools. So when at some point you are writing some manual page for a tool, then it's good to have a look or read through the documentation in order to provide some description or some text that follow the same convention, so that people are already used to this convention, and then the documentation that we're providing will go in the same in this same direction, or at least will follow conventions that people are already used to. So maybe one other things that is important to highlight is that I can scroll through the documentation and know that the man page is shows through a pager, right? It means that I can scroll through it, not if all the content is not shown, is not rendered directly in the terminal, but the pager provides a mean to scroll through the man page by page, basically. And when you scroll through it, then we can have the example section that shows like few examples of how the man pages, the man command can be used, right? And or like show also more detailed description, and also all the options that are possible or that are supported, and what each option is meant for. So most of the time, you do not sit and read entirely through the man pages, because that's will be quite extreme. But sometimes it's good when you're looking for when we're using a tool and wanted a specific behavior, or wanted to configure it in a specific way, then we can look through the man pages and try to find if there are some supported options that allows what you intend to do. But instead of just scrolling through the man pages, because it can be quite very long depending of which tool is being checked, then there are like some shortcuts to go through the man pages. And to get access to the shortcuts, just look at the line down here. It says here, press H for help, right? So if we press H now, then we have like a summary of the shortcuts that are supported in the man page, right? So it shows, so caret in the beginning refers to the control character. So as it says here, a key pressed preceded by a caret indicates the control key. So this caret K means control K, basically. So let's say maybe a simple example here, if we want to move forwards one window in the man page, we can just press F or Control F or Control V or space. Then we move one window forward, and to move one window backwards, we can press the key B on the keyboard. These two are pretty useful. And the one that I also wanted to highlight is the G. Yeah, these two. G go to the first line in the file, and capital G goes to the last line. So no matter where we are in the man page, we want to go completely to the beginning of the man page, we just press G. And if we want to go completely to the end of the man page, we pressed Shift G or capital G for capital G, and then we go to the end. Yeah. And search is also supported basically in the man page. To search forwards, you just need to press slash, right? When we press slash, then you have the possibility to type what you want to look for. Let's say I want to look for window, then I press enter, and then it will look for the pattern that I have typed through. So I can type window, and then it'll look for the matches for the character I've pressed. And if I want to look for the next match, I just need to press N, and then it will go for the next match. And if I want to look for the match but in the reverse direction, I need to press Shift N, and then it will go back. So N move forward to look for the matches, and Shift N or capital N goes backwards to look for the matches. So I think these are maybe the few options that I wanted to highlight here. You can read through a little bit more of the shortcuts if you are interested, but I think those are the most helpful one, I would say, at least the one that I tend to use the most. So B to move one window forwards, backwards, F to move forwards, yeah, simple F, move forward, one window, B, move backwards, one window, G goes completely at the beginning, and capital G goes completely at the end. So that's it pretty much. And to quit the help here, we just need to press Q. So that's it. I think you can take your time if you're interested to read through it more, but those are highlights, I think, key points that you could take with you. So I will just open Man beside here so that we have a look on it. So one important aspect is that you can only get the man page of a tool that you already know that it exists on the system. So if I want the man pages of the ls command, I can type man ls, and then I will get the man page of the ls command. So basically the ls command is from the section 1 of the man pages, and these are the options that are supported with the ls command, followed by their description. So instead of scrolling as we've seen so far, here we are at the beginning. If you want to go to the end, we just press Shift G, and then we go completely at the end of the man page. If you want to go backwards one window, we can just press B. B goes backward one window instead of scrolling, then it's slightly better. And to go forward, just F, then goes forward one window. Yeah. But if you're comfortable scrolling with the mouse, then it's also okay. But at some point, if you want to go quicker, then having those shortcuts is definitely good. F for forward, B for backward, G goes at the beginning, and Shift G goes at the end. So that's it pretty much. So you can also do man cat for the cat command, and also get information about the cat command. So that's it. So if we know the name of the tool, then we can type man followed by the name of the tool for which we want to look the man pages for. But note that the man pages are only available for tools that provides it, right? It's already a standard that most packages or tools come with their man pages. But if at some point there is a tool that that is not shipped with some manual documentation, then you will not be able to use the man command to have its usage then. In the man pages with the -k or --apropos option, it can be used to look for, let's say we know that we want a command that, let's say, lists files, right? But we do not know exactly which commands can be used to do it, right? So the apropos performs like a regex search in the man pages and list out all the commands that matches with the keywords that we have provided. So it's possible to use man apropos and let's say list. And then you see it provides like a whole bunch of commands that contains lists in their description, right? And that is basically what this command can be used for. So if we know more or less one keywords about what we want to achieve, let's say the device, yeah, and then it prints out all the commands with the keywords that we provide. After the apropos option, look for them in the man page then. But there is actually also the command apropos this way, and it also does the same thing. It's like equivalent to the man -apropos option, right? And this command also, I think we can do man apropos to get some information about this command. So this is the command name. It's from the section 1 of the man pages, right? And these are the options that it supports. And we can see that it supports the -a or -and option. And with this and option, we can combine multiple keywords, right? So we can do apropos. We want a command that can list and let's say and files, right? And then it helps to reduce. So if we just type apropos list, then we got a bunch of outputs, right? And let's say we are just interested in listing files, then we can use the -and option and say files, and then we get a shorter list. And I'm surprised because I wanted to see the ls command in the list, but it seems that the ls command is not part of the ls command. Can be used to list files and directories. So maybe let's say here. So if I combine lists and here, then we get the ls commands because it's described as list directory. So as you can notice, it's not like a smart search like for like you will get on search engines on the web, but it's basically looking through the description of the commands, and if the keywords that are provided match, then it will shortlist to hopefully the command that we are looking for. So it all depends, and depend also on the accuracy on the keywords that are provided. So let's say I want to list devices. So if I combine this device, then I get, oh yeah, nice. I get the lspci and lsusb commands. That's nice. So that's it. So it's more or less equivalent to the man apropos option, but you can also use the apropos commands directly, right? And if, for instance, you're reading a script and you've seen, let's say, a command that you're not sure what it is about, then you can type what is. There is the what is commands, and you can follow it by, let's say, you've seen sec in the script, then it will tell you sec print a sequence of numbers, right? It's the what is command provides like a very short description of what a command does, and you can achieve the same with the man dash what is. Like these two are equivalent, you know. But what is just easier to remember and to type what is followed by the name of the command, and then it will give you a short description of what the command does. And apropos, you can use it to kind of look for a command that does something, but you should come up with some keywords that are a little bit relevant. Otherwise, then the result will not be that accurate or useful. So that's it, more or less, a way to get some help on the command line. And once you have found the command, or once you know the name of the commands on which you want some help, you can use the man to get some more advanced help about the command, like full documentation, what it does, the options that are supported, the description, and any additional information are provided in the man page. It's more like the most reliable source of information on the commands, basically. Yeah, so you can get some help without leaving the terminal.